Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here and honored by your presence. I just would like to say how struck I was in Nagasaki by two things. One was the museum of atrocities the Japanese have committed. Private museum, funded privately, and no state support. And I've heard that it's a very modest museum, but it's very important because it has maps, pictures, documentation of the Japanese invasion of East Asia, as well as its treatment of prisoners and people. And I'm told that if this museum were in Tokyo, that they would not be able to stay open, that they would be attacked by the right-wing thug organizations that exist in Japan. Well, Peter was involved in the Smithsonian. I have to remind you, at the Smithsonian Institute, there was a huge scandal in 1995 to have an exhibit on the Enola Gay. They objected to various things that Peter and his people were trying to put into the exhibit, like the lunchbox, the melted lunchbox that you see at Hiroshima. They wouldn't allow that, and they wouldn't allow any. They said it was a disgrace to U.S. veterans. This is the kind of mentality. What we need in the U.S. is a simple museum like in Nagasaki, like the Atomic Museum that I saw there. It explains nuclear weapons, the amounts, the maps, what a nuclear weapon looks like. It shows you the size and the shape of the plutonium bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki. It gives a young person a real look into the power of the bomb, and it's a beautiful. We don't even have a nuclear museum in the U.S. As far as I know. Dayton, Ohio, Peter told me there's a museum in Dayton, Ohio, with Boxcar, which is a plane, but there's no knowledge about what nuclear warfare can do. And in reference to American propaganda or television. We live in a world where television would never show this series. The only reason we're on the air was Showtime, because I had a relationship with, and I was able to get it through, took it. They didn't pay for it. We had to finance it. They took it, they played it, they didn't do a lot of advertising. HBO passed, every other cable station passed, and you know, if you're an American, that we would never have gotten this on network television. Never, not in a million years. There's no challenging documentaries. Now you can say 60 Minutes is all this, gets all the Emmy Awards, but I challenge you, would 60 Minutes ever run this kind of story about Hiroshima or Nagasaki or about any aspect of American history? They'll go into an occasional atrocity, but they never give you that big pattern, that big picture view, because they're pro-American. They depend on pro-American sponsorship. Business interests will not pay, corporations will not pay to be critical of America too much. So we have a real roadblock, and our young people are not getting an education unless they go to other alternate means. We have to provide them that. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks a lot.